Chandra, Vikram Chandra, sir.
Vikram Chandra's novels.
Yes, sir.
So I would like to invite the research scholar James to make the presentation of his thesis.
Yes. Good afternoon, all the professors. I would like to begin my presentation with a quotation from a famous philosopher and English writer by name Aldous Leonard Huxley. In his essay on beliefs, what he says is all men live in accordance with their philosophy of life, in other words, their conception of the world, and this is true even of the most thoughtless person. He says it further, it is impossible to live without a metaphysics. The choice that is given us is not between some kind of metaphysics and no metaphysics. It is always between good metaphysics and bad metaphysics. I have done my research in these lines depending on certain doctrines in Indian philosophy that has enslaved people, confused people, subjugated people. And for this, I have selected the novels of Vikram Chandra. His three novels, they are Red Earth and Pouring Rain, Sacred Games, Love and Longing in Bombay. And it is titled as Metaphysical and Materialistic Elements in the Novels of Vikram Chandra. You may be surprised or you may have a question in your mind. What has English literature to do with metaphysics? Now let me come to that. Metaphysics and materialistic aspects are two elements in our human culture. There are metaphysical, we may also call it as material and non-material aspects of culture. One of my findings is that the doctrines like Chatur Varna, the doctrine of pantheism, nature worship, polytheism, or doctrine of karma, this has really confused people and some people are enslaved to it. Looking at the belief that the society is divided into four varnas, the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. Our Dr. Ambedkar, the chairman of Indian Constitution, had vehemently objected this. What he says is that there is no reason in that myth. It all based on a myth from the Rig Veda, which goes like this: Brahmano asya mukham asid bahu raja nyaha krataha uru tad asya yat vaishna padabhyam shudro ajayata. It means that we know Brahmins are born from the head of the primal man, Purusha, and Kshatriyas from their hands, and Vaishyas from his thighs, and Sudras from the feet. And this classification, this doctrine has tormented Indian society for so many years until there was a realization when the British and the English literature and Western philosophy all entered this Indian soil. Ambedkar objected this in his Annihilation of Caste, where he says caste system has no scientific origin. Now coming to the novel, we have in the police department of Mumbai an officer by name Katekar and a senior officer by name Purulkar. Purulkar is a Brahmin and Katekar is a Kshatriya, and there is a lot of competition, fight going on between them. Now let us take in the book of Genesis in the Bible, there is a verse saying that God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him, male and female. So the human being has been divided into just two categories, male and female. And this looks more appealing to a social order, a social equality. The next I would like to look into that, the doctrine of three doctrines together: nature worship, polytheism and pantheism. All this has its origins in the Vedas or in the Upanishads. There are some slogans which speaks about different supreme gods, and one we hear in Rigveda. It is known as in Rigveda. It is known as Hiranyagarbha Sutra, where it says Hiranyagarbhaya Samavartatagre Budasya Jata Padiregasid Sa Dadar Prithvi Dhyamuthema Kasmai Devaya Havishavidema. It speaks that in the beginning there was a golden embryo, and that through that embryo everything in the world was created, and this is the supreme God whom we have to worship. Again, another Rigvedic hymn is called as Devi Suktam, where it says a supreme female goddess whom we have to worship. One more is the Purusha Sukta, where the sacrifice of a primal man. And coming to Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is something called pantheism, which says everything in the world is a manifestation of God. So we can worship anything. And these three theories have led people astray. There are so many people in our country, they worship anything and everything. And here in the novel, we have the reincarnated monkey who is known as Parashar. Vikram Chandra mocks at this theory of pantheism in his words, I am simultaneously seduced by and terrified of these multiplicities. I worship these 33,333 gods because I curse them for the abundance of their dance. I am forced to make sense out of this elaborate richness. And that's what he is. And in our country, we have so many people who worship trees, animals, rodents, stones, self-made God-men, God-women, celebrities. You might have also heard that there is a temple for Amitabh Bachchan in Calcutta. There is another temple for Sonia Gandhi in the district of Andhra Pradesh in Kurnool. There is one more temple for the previous Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Y.S. Rajshekhar Reddy. All they are worshipped. People start worshipping anything and everything. Exactly against this, what we have is monotheism. There are three religions that support the theory of monotheism. And in monotheism, Judaism, Islam and Christianity. In the Bible we come across a verse in the book of Genesis where it says, God said, let there be light, and there was light. God saw that light was good. Here God is taken in singular form. Again, another verse in the book of Revelation in the Bible, it says, I am the Alpha, I am the Omega. The Lord says, and who was made, who is to come, and this is the Almighty. If you put aside all these religious texts, let us come to pure scientific reasoning. In the earlier days, scientific reasoning started from Ionia in Greek. In those days also, there was the worship of fire, water, air and things like that. Even in India we have the worship of all these things. But Aristotle, the Western philosopher, they went ahead and he has brought out 4 reasons which he calls the ontological argument for existence of God. These arguments are purely on logic and scientific reasoning, which has no reference to any religious text. And those 4 arguments are, one is called the argument of the unmoved mover, where he says everything the world is in a flux, is moving, and only God is not moved. He calls it as unmoved mover. Then the second one is pure actuality. Whatever we see in this world is fleeting. It existed sometime, it will not continue to exist after some time. So in that case, there should be one substance which existed from the beginning, and that he calls as pure actuality, which existed, exists and will exist, and this he calls as God. And third argument is the best thing. We see that in this world there are so many wonderful things. The source of beauty. So he attributes all these to one particular source of beauty which is perfect. that he calls as best thing. Again, the divine mind. The divine mind refers to the substratum of the world. If I should explain to you in simple terms, a green apple, as it is small, a green apple becomes bigger and bigger, it becomes red apple. Or when I was a 6th standard student, my size and figure was different. Now, as I'm married and a man of 50 years, I'm still different. But in this difference, there is something same in me. And that sameness is who controls that? Who controls this orderliness of the universe? That he calls as divine mind. So accordingly, Aristotle proves without the text, any religious text, that there can be only one Almighty God. And according to logic, there is no need of so many gods, because when we speak about God, we say God is omniscient, God is all powerful, God is omnipotent, and perfect existence is a perfection. So if a thing exists and it is all powerful, existence also comes under that. And all these arguments have been dealt in detail in the thesis. Now comes the doctrine of karma. Doctrine of karma, accordingly, we know that the bad karma makes us reborn into a lower body. And here, we do not know the truth of it, because there is no empirical evidence for that. There are some slogans in the Bhagavad Gita which refers to it. And I shall just read out the meaning of it. Even as a man casts off his clothes and puts on new clothes, so is the body casts off the worn out, so is the soul casts off the worn out body and enters into a new body. We do not know what actually happens to our birth, because there is no empirical evidence for that. But in this novel, there is a Swami, Sridhar Shukla Guruji, who is a Godhead, who considers himself as God. And he takes advantage of this theory. He uses this theory for making money. What he does is, he conducts a Sarva Meda Yajna. In Sarva Meda Yajna, if you take part in that, all the bad karma of your previous life and present life is washed off, and you may be eligible for a better body in the coming life. And he asks all those people who have come for attending the yajna to throw away their valuable things like gold, watches, wristwatches, or cars and money. And people getting convinced of getting a better body in the next birth, what they do is they throw off their belongings, and this Swami takes it away. So here Vikram Chandra used to appears to mock at this theory of doctrine of karma. Now coming to the materialistic aspect of life, materialism is a theory whereby it's a tendency that reduces higher things to lower, or explain the higher phenomena in the light of the lower ones. We have materialist philosophers in our country known as Charvaka or Karvaka philosophy. And what they say is, eat, drink and make merry, for tomorrow is uncertain. They do not believe in the doctrine of God or existence of soul. Now again, from the West we have Jeremy Bentham, another utilitarian, or we have J.S. Mill, another philosopher who proposed hedonism. All these speak about a life of enjoyment, a life of pleasure. What gives maximum pleasure to my body is good for me. What gives maximum utility for maximum number of people is a good action. And our metropolitan cities, the second findings I have found is that metropolitan cities are very much dominant in materialistic aspects. Materialism to the extent of enjoyment alone. And in the novel, we have three characters: Ganesh Gaitonde, Jojo Mascarenhas, Jamila Mirza, and fourth one is Swami Sridhar Shukla. They all focus their life on amassing wealth and enjoyment and pleasures. And here we have, and here again clashing with one of the doctrines in the Bhagavad Gita is that doctrine of karma and doctrine of prakriti purusha. Every human being is a combination of prakriti and purusha. And if prakriti is the is what the bodily inclinations that we have is because of prakriti, and purusha is the soul factor. Equivalent to this, we have something called in Greek philosophy hylomorphism. Hylomorphism comes from the word hule and morphos. Hule means soul, morphos means body. And the body element is more. We tend to do things related to the body. Swami Sridhar Shukla, in his novel, entire females, he says, their prakriti is more in them, so they are voluptuous, they are fickle-minded when it comes to pleasures of life. Here he has the example of Jojo and Shalini, who are basically by profession prostitutes. And what Sridhar Shukla says, they are prostitutes because of their karma or the previous birth, what they have done. The doctrine of karma reduces human beings as slaves of a theory, and we do not know if it is really in practice. Exactly against that, there is a teaching of the Catholic Church which says that of all visible creatures in the world able to know, only man is able to know and love his creator. Only creature on earth that God has built for its own sake is human being. Human being is intelligent, knowledgeable, which can differentiate. That's why Western metaphysics and Western monotheistic religions, they uphold the theory of free will. When the theory of karma says that we have no freedom, if I am a thief, if I am a robber, if I am a murderer, it is because of my previous birth and previous activities. But here, the theory of karma is not giving a chance for someone to modify their life and become better. And if you come to the Jewish literature, the Jewish scriptures, there is one place when God created Adam and Eve and asked them not to eat the fruit from a tree. And here, I shall just read it out for you. The serpent approaches the woman and tempts the woman, you can start eating the apple, there is no problem. Then woman says like this, the woman saw the tree was good for food. It was delightful for the eyes. And it was desired to make me wise. So she took fruit and ate. Before committing a mistake, before committing a sin, the woman has taught three things. That this is good, delightful, and it gives wisdom. This much of thinking process was gone before committing an activity. So human beings cannot be merely reduced into a slave of previous activities of karma. It is true that continuous doing of a particular activity will make us prone to do it again, but it cannot totally spoil the moral consciousness of human mind. Here again it says in the book of Sirach in the Bible, chapter 17 verses 40 says, he filled them with knowledge and understanding and showed them good and evil. Human being is able to identify between good and evil.
Sorry to interrupt, James. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, sir.
To come to the analysis part.
Yes.
Okay, this is theoretical you are talking about. You are talking about a lot about it.
Yes, sir.
This is a materialism, but you talk in terms of the application of all these things to the novels which we have explored.
Yes, sir. The novel Sacred Games is based on what happens in Bombay. The metropolitan of Bombay is materialistic entirely in its outlook. So everywhere there is violence going on in Bombay, and this violence is done by people of different field. There are gangsters doing violence, there are politicians doing violence, there are policemen doing violence, and there are godmen also doing violence. And this violence goes to such an extent, and people are made to believe that violence is a part of it, we have to put up with it. Again, Swami Sridhar Shukla, one of the godmen in Bombay, he promotes violence by his theories. And his theories are that a human being by birth itself begins with violence. What he calls violence is at conception, at the fertilization, the sperm when joins the ovum, there are more than 5 lakhs of sperms which comes for fertilization. Only one becomes successful, and that he calls there is a violence. He looks at the sun and he tells in sun also there is violence, because if there is lot of explosion in sun, and if sun stopped explosion, the life will end up. So now this violence is part of metropolitan cities, and the solution for all this is, it has been found that the government machinery is not sufficient to control this violence or control the bribe and corruption, because even the police department are given into corruption. There is something called encounter killings, or what they call supari in Bombay. When the police do encounter killings, and the police, what they say is, we are good people, we have to become bad in order to control the worst people. Of all this, my suggestion, out of all this, my analysis has come to that, in order to control, in order to stop violence, there is only one way that we can do. It's police alone will not do. There is long trial and punishment that is going on in the country. And because of the long trial and punishment, violence cannot be controlled. Violence can only be controlled when there is strong moral education in our schools and colleges. And again, in a multi-religious society like our country, India, we need to have access to other religious texts. Like I have read Bhagavad Gita, Quran and Bible. And our children, our citizens must be open to other religious texts, so that there will be an understanding of each other. Now what happens in our country is, the object of worship of one person is the object of food for another person. I am coming to the worship of Gomata. There are some people who worship, but some people, for them it is food. So there is a clash going on. When there is an understanding between different religious beliefs and worships which should be taught in our schools, then there will be an understanding, better understanding people, better forbearance towards other religion. And I would like to end my presentation with a quotation from Satish Chandra Chatterjee, where he says, philosophy of a country is the cream of its culture and civilization. It springs from ideas that prevail in its atmosphere and bears its unconscious stamp. So these are all I have to say regarding my thesis.
Good. Dr. Tare, now his presentation is open for discussion. If you have queries, you can put up your queries to the research scholar, Mr. James.
Okay. First of all, I congratulate Mr. Morley and his supervisor, Dr. Pawar sir, for choosing to a nice subject.
Okay.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Clear.
To move a very nice subject. It is very interesting subject.
Okay.
But when I went through the thesis, particularly the chapter 2, Polytheism and Indian culture.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So when I was reading that chapter now,
Yes, sir.
you have you have put forward your own view, or you have mentioned polytheism in Hindu culture from Western outlook.
Yes, sir.
Most of the philosophers or philosophers who quoted they belong to Western countries.
Yes, sir. May I answer, sir?
Yes. I just want to know what you think about polytheism and Indian culture. Being an Indian, what do you think?
just want to answer that. What happened in Indian philosophy continued to be. Indian philosophical schools like Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Vedanta, Mimamsa, they were separate, independent of each other. Even in the West, there was polytheism in the beginning. But advancement of philosophy, Western philosophers, they denied or accepted or denied one school theory and went further ahead. This is what has been mentioned by, I have also quoted Satish Chandra Chatterjee and Ravindranath Das Gupta, where he says that Indian philosophy did not make any big strides. It became stagnant because it did not try to understand others' view or accept others' view. So, in the Indian structure, I do agree with, to a great extent, I do agree with Bhagavad Gita where it says everything in this world is a manifestation of God. So, by going through any manifestation, we reach attain God. That is fine. But my idea is, there is again in the Veda says that Sarva Sreshta Janma Manava Janma. And people who are already in Manava Janma, we do not need, we are not supposed to go and adore things of the lower grade, because we have, our human intellect is capable of understanding the creator. See, we appreciate the artisan, not the artwork. If your mother prepares a wonderful food, you say your mother very good. You don't go and say, don't go and adore the food. You just thankful to the mother. Same way, the entire world is a creation of God. So we worship God because we are human beings. That's my understanding of it, sir. Am I?
Sir, this is nicely been crafted.
Sir?
And your thesis has nicely been crafted.
Okay, sir.
And particularly the chapter crime, corruption and violence.
Okay, sir.
I like that chapter very much.
Okay, sir.
Because out of literate you have gone out collected your material from sources. I like that chapter very much.
Okay, sir.
And your conclusion is also interesting. Overall, this is precise.
Okay.
Thank your research work very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mr. James,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Okay. So you talked about very interesting things. You talked about
Okay.
Indian and Western philosophy.
Yes, sir.
And when coming to karma theory, you talked about that also.
Yes, sir.
Karma theory.
Yes.
And when you compare karma theory of Vedas, you see Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, sir.
And then we have karma theory in Jainism
Yes, sir.
and Buddhism.
Yes, sir.
We did not touch upon Buddhist theory of karma.
Yes.
Buddhist theory of karma.
Yes.
And of course, I understand that you read all these things because you delve deep into it.
Yes.
Okay. You
Yes.
talked about Hindu text, this text, that text, Christianity,
Yes.
Judaism, etc. Very, very interesting part.
Yes, sir.
But what difference do you find in karma theory of Jainism, Buddhism, and the karma theory in Bhagavad Gita or Vedic text?
I did not look much into the karma theory of Buddhism because in the novel there weren't any Buddhists. I have just checked into the related characters.
But that is okay. But when you talk about Buddhist Hindu text, okay, so when you're talking about your karma theory, so you have to take into account all the philosophical text in Indian context.
Yes, sir.
In India,
Okay.
in particular.
Okay, sir.
Because you talked about Bhagavad Gita. What about Bhagavad Gita say? Because I read Gita myself.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there are karma yoga.
Yes.
There is bhakti yoga.
Yes,
There is
sir.
karma yoga.
Yes.
And there are many more things.
Yes.
There are 80 chapters in Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
Bhagavad Gita karma theory.
Yes.
Okay. What does Krishna say? Because you have to do the nishkam karma.
Yeah. Yes.
Nishkam karma.
Yes.
Nishkam karma means
Without expecting any moksha. Yes.
बोला हेतु धूमाते सदो सत्व कर्मणि.
Yes.
So फल की अपेक्षा मत करो.
Okay.
आप कर्म करते हो and whatever karma you do,
Yes.
you just devote
Yes.
or sacrifice all your karma to me.
Yes.
Because I am the supreme.
Yes.
I have created all these things.
Yeah.
Whereas in Jainism,
Okay.
in Jainism,
Okay.
in Jainism, Mahavir, Bhagwan Mahavir,
Yes.
that is the 24th Kirtankar.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
24th Kirtankar, and he was the last Kirtankar in Jainism.
Yes.
What does he say? He said that you have to, because we people are suffering, we are unhappy,
Okay.
we are sad, we
Yeah.
suffer every day,
Yes.
only because of the karma.
Okay.
Only because of the karma that we suffer,
Okay.
and therefore we need to do away with karma.
Okay.
And unless and until you do away with karma, you cannot attain nirvana.
Yes.
Nirvana means moksha.
Moksha. Yes.
Moksha.
Yes.
And whereas in Buddhism, what Buddha says, it is not that there is no guarantee that you will be born again.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
his idea of Atman,
Yes.
Hindu texts talked about, because there are two things which are very prominent in Hinduism.
Okay.
So one is Brahma,
Yes.
one is Brahma, other is Atman,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
And what relationship is there between Brahman and Atman?
Yes.
So Brahman is all powerful being.
Yes.
Brahman means all powerful being.
Yes.
And Atman means eternal self.
Yes.
Eternal self. So after doing all our karmas
Yes.
on this earth,
Yes.
our purpose is to attain moksha, means attaining God.
Yes.
So there has to be, again, reunification of the self and
With,
Brahma.
yes, yes.
Atman and Brahman.
Yes. Sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So that part I found very interesting.
Okay.
Because I have just read about all those things
Yeah.
much earlier. I don't exactly remember many things because
Okay.
Hinduism is all about many things.
Yes.
It starts from Veda, then Upanishada,
Yes.
Brahmana,
Yes.
Aranyaka.
Yes.
There
are so many-
there are
so many
things.
things, yes.
But you should have talked about Karma Theory of Buddha also.
Yeah. Okay.
Buddha
Okay.
is not about what is going to happen in our next birth.
Yes.
But Buddha said that you are rewarded
Okay.
on the basis of your karma in this world
Yes.
alone.
Yes.
In
Yes.
this world alone.
Yes.
Because we haven't seen
Yes.
the next birth. There is no guarantee
Yes.
that you will be born again.
Yes.
So the reward of your karma you
Okay.
get only
Okay.
in this world.
Yes.
And therefore we have to have pure karmas.
Okay.
It's right conduct.
Yes. That's a good.
Behavior,
That's something deep knowledge you have given me in that.
right view.
Yes. That view.
Many,
Yes.
many more things.
Yes.
And you talking about rationalistic philosophy.
Yeah.
Rationalistic philosophy, you talked about Nyaya Yoga. You talked about Jnana. You
Yeah.
talked about Jasika.
Yes.
But you did not talk about Sankhya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sankhya.
Yes.
Sankhya philosophy, Sankhya
Yes.
philosophy.
Yes. Yes.
Sankhya philosophy.
Yes.
Sankhya philosophy by Kapil Muni.
Yes.
You refer to Charvakya, it's okay, that is good thing. Because in Indian philosophy,
Yes.
you can say it began with Charvakya.
Yes.
But Kapil Muni is also very, very important philosopher.
Okay, sir.
His talking, it is based on, it is purely rational.
Okay.
It is purely rational.
Uh-huh.
Isn't it? And
Yeah.
there is difference between Vedic text and Upanishada. Upanishada, what is
Yeah.
Upanishada? What is the definition of Upanishada? What does it indicate? It
Up-
rejects certain fundamental principles of Vedas.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Upanishads
Yes.
rejects fundamental principles of Vedas.
Okay.
And what fundamental principles? That is the sacrifices. That
Yeah,
is
ritualism.
Rituals.
Ritualism, yeah.
Rituals.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
all those things you do not find in
Yeah.
Upanishada.
Okay.
Upanishada believe in Atman and Brahma.
Okay.
Okay, there is
Okay.
one powerful being
Okay.
and who has created us.
Yes.
And your pure self is eternal being.
Okay.
Pure self or pure self.
Okay.
And you have to explore because even in Gita you say Jnana Yoga.
Yes.
Even in Gita there is Jnana Yoga.
Yes, yes.
Jnana Yoga. Because you talk about Gita also.
Yeah.
What does Jnana Yoga say? That you have to explore and understand the relationship between the self
Yes.
and the eternal being.
Yes.
That is Brahma.
Yes.
The finite and the infinite.
Yeah, okay.
And that means human being.
Yes.
And that infinite,
Okay.
isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So, you, okay, it is really,
Yes.
really interesting one,
Yes.
what you have done. But unless and until when you talk about Indian philosophy,
Okay.
you cannot do away with
Okay,
Buddhism.
yeah. Yes.
You cannot do away with Jainism.
Okay, okay, okay.
Because these were the major forces.
Yes.
Post-Vedic literature,
Yes,
post-Vedic
yes.
philosophy.
Yes.
After Vedas and Buddhism, you have Buddhism and Jainism.
Okay, okay.
And it exercised, enormous influence on the lives of Indian people, not only Indian people,
Okay.
but people across the world. You see the followers of Buddhism.
Yes, there are.
Across the
Yeah.
world.
But-
I understand.
But
Buddhism is as much important as Hinduism.
my one question is, sir, truth has to be just one. Jainism says one thing, Buddhism says another, Christianity, Catholicism says something else. The truth has to be just one. And there is always this conflict between the truth.
No, truth cannot be one. Truth cannot be one in Jainism. There is philosophy of Anekavad. Anekavad philosophy.
Yes.
There are two things in Jainism most prominent which attracted me, which I found very intriguing, very interesting.
Okay.
One is Shad,
Okay.
and another is Anekantavad.
Anekantavad, yes.
Anekantavad means that is multiplicity of
Yes.
because what is true to you cannot be true to me.
To me, okay.
Even in Indian faith,
Yes.
in context of major religions,
Yes.
you see Islam.
Yes.
Islam is different from Christianity.
Yes.
To certain because all this Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, they have one particular man as their patriarch.
Yes.
And with their patriarch, Abraham.
Yes. Father of all these three. Yes.
Abraham
Correct.
is the patriarch of all three religions,
Yes.
but still they differ in certain respect.
Yes.
In Islam, they believe only in one God.
Yes.
They talk about monotheism also.
Yes.
But in Christianity, they do not worship Muhammad Paighambar. They worship Allah only. In Islam, they worship Allah.
Yes.
They don't worship Muhammad Paighambar.
Yes.
But in Christianity, we worship God as well as Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. There is Trinity.
Yes.
Mary.
Yes.
Mother Mary.
No, Mother Mary is not an object of worship. Suppose considered as a holy person.
Because they have the idol in the church.
Yes, that is
When
there.
they light the candle
Yes.
in front of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
So it's a kind of offering. Though they believe in God, only one God, but there is the idea of Trinity. All these people take Jesus Christ, as the Son God.
Incarnated.
Son of God.
Incarnation of God, what we call.
Son of God.
Yes.
Son of God.
Yes.
If there is an element of God in His Son.
Yes.
Genetically.
Visible. God came in the form of man. Visible form.
Jesus Christ himself carries the element of God.
Yes.
Jesus Christ himself carries the element of God.
Yes.
But in Islam, Muhammad Paighambar doesn't say that
Yes.
I carry an element of God. No. I have been
Yeah.
revealed the message of God through the angels.
Yes.
Okay, through the angels. He doesn't claim to be
God. He doesn't claim.
Just
Yes.
that Krishna claims to be, himself claims to be the God.
God. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So these are the basic differences.
That was
in all
nice.
this concept. So you cannot do away with other
Yeah,
things.
okay,
When you focus
okay.
on one thing,
Okay.
you have to make comparison.
Yes.
And without comparison, our argument cannot be complete. Otherwise, it sounds very haphazard.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes.
Because the system is very times stable and it is not many times in our reach also on that matter it requires. You are
Yes.
quite mature, I hope you understand it.
Yes. I do.
Okay.
I do understand.
So, Dr. Tari sir, are you happy with his presentation?
Yes, sir.
Are you happy?
Yeah,
Are you happy
yes.
with his presentation? Would you like to recommend the thesis for the award of degree of PhD?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Now
sir. Thank you.
I would like to invite Dr. Pawar sir to make certain comments about the
Yes, sir.
presentation. I only say I strongly recommend this fellow for the award of PhD.
Okay.
He has totally satisfied me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir, Tare sir, thank you so much for joining.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mr. James,
Yes.
for a very interesting presentation.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you, Dr. Pawar. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Tare sir. Tare sir, you received what is it, ID and password in earlier lectures. Tare sir? Can you hear me? Tare sir? You received the ID and password in earlier letter, which was sent by the PhD section of the university, and there is URL also. So you have to visit the portal of the university, select the candidate, okay, and then you have to make your comments. And to make the comments and submit the comments, and this procedure has to be done twice, 2 times. Okay? Because unless you send the report, we will not be able to download. Okay? Because we get consolidated report. I have to pick the comments. Then Pawar sir will also make the comment, and you have to make the comment. Then only procedure will be continued. I hope that after just I am ending the meeting, as soon as I end the meeting, you will do that. Okay, sir. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.